Hi everyone, Magnus here, and today I've got a really cool miniature that was played between Maxime Vachier-Lagrave, the Lion from France, and Hikaru Nakamura back in 2016. And I found this game while I was digging around in the Lichess database looking at the Museo Gambit, just trying to see if it was ever really getting played at the top level. And it turns out that in a Blitz tournament in 2016, it was in fact employed by MVL against Hikaru. And I'm just going to get right into the game. Started with pawn to e4, e5, and knight to c3. Now we had a bit of a weird transposition into the King's Gambit, which obviously is f4, sacrificing this f-pawn here. Hikaru went for a symmetrical setup, not the standard knight to f6. And here we have the Vienna Gambit with pawn to f4. We have pawn takes on f4 and knight to f3 rather than d4 trying to take all the space in the center. Then we have g5 hanging onto the pawn, looking to play g4 and kick the knight. And after bishop to c4, we now kind of transpose into the Museo Gambit with pawn to g4 and short castles here. Short castles is a nice move. Basically, the idea is you're going to sacrifice this knight here, and as you can see from the evaluation, even though you're down a piece, it's not even that bad, because you're about to get lots of development on the king with this battery of queen and rook here. So you have to take the knight, otherwise what are you doing? And instead of queen takes f3, which is the standard kind of move that you would play in the Museo, we get sort of a double Museo Gambit, this is a standard move, bishop takes f7, but not with the inclusion of knight to c3 and knight to c6. So let's see how this changes the game. Of course, we have king takes on f7, queen takes on f3, Hikaru plays bishop to h6, trying to guard this pawn and prevent the queen and rook from cascading through. But now we have pawn to d4, which is a really cool pawn sacrifice idea by MVL, looking to get the bishop into the game and basically just shred open the king. Now, honestly, I think the Museo Gambit is a fantastic rapid and blitz weapon, and the King's Gambit in general. Honestly, the positions that you get are just so crazy, so wild, that as long as you're the one with more experience, I mean, very few people are going to be surviving out with their king in the open. I might not recommend it for classical, but even classical, this is going to be a massive headache for black. So definitely trying to attack, be on the offensive is a good idea as long as it's reasonably justified. And as you can see, it's only -1, and white is down 2 pieces. You can see Hikaru's +5, so there must be a lot of compensation here. And now apparently Hikaru has to just cold-blooded move his king out of the f-file, lose this pawn here, allow his knight to get kicked. King g7 is a really, really difficult move to play. Instead, Hikaru takes the bait, captures the pawn on d4. Now, if you want to try and pause the video here and find the winning move, as you can see, the eval bar shoots up in MVL's favor, then feel free to do so. But the move here is, in fact, queen to h5 check. And the reason for this is that the king really doesn't have anywhere very good to go. You can't block this check. And if you go king to e6, say, then there is rook to f4. There's even queen to d4, collecting the knight and hitting the rook in the corner. So something like this could be very strong. The rook is pretty much dead. If you try and bring out your knight, all of a sudden the bishop's coming in, this rook's coming to life. You're just down so much development. Let's say you play something like this, for example. Knight to d5 is even in the position, and something here, boom. That is an absolutely beautiful checkmate in the center of the board. So that would be one such possibility. And now let's say you don't go king e6, let's say you play king e7. Well, now there's just bishop takes on f4, and if you were to exchange, simply rook f4 and rook f7, knight d5, all these threats, queen e5, winning the rook, winning the knight, it's simply unstoppable. There is no development for Hikaru, and he cannot defend. And finally, we've got king to f6, just looks insane. You're just running headfirst into this. King f8, same business. So Hikaru decides to go king to g7, trying to get out of dodge here. And the only winning move is bishop takes on f4, now setting up all of these threats here. And if you were to take this bishop, then the rook would recapture, and once again, deadly threats. All of these problems pretty much is impossible to defend. Let's say you play like knight f6. Looks like a reasonable, responsible move. Trying to develop your knight. You just get hit with this here. And I think even you could even just bring the other rook into the game, and you are getting smashed down the f-file. This is no bueno. So, instead of recapturing, Hikaru didn't go for this. He tried to play pawn to d6, saying, okay, I think my position is, at least for the most part, I think I'm stopping bishop to e5. And these other threats, maybe I'll survive. I might have to give up my queen or something. And we'll see how, if I can get my bishop out and get my rook into the game, Hikaru's thinking maybe I'll survive. But there is one absolutely killer shot here. Now, if you want to pause the video one more time, try and find this one. This one's very nice. And don't get discouraged by the fact that I said d6 prevents bishop e5, because that is the exact move that MVL went for. Bishop e5, double exclam. Lovely move here. And the idea is that if you capture the bishop, simple rook f7, checkmate. Queen guards the rook, rook cuts the squares, queen cuts this square, and that king is absolutely boxed in, as you can see. All these pieces surrounding the king, but they are no use. A random knight in the middle of the board, and a queen still on her home square, along with the queenside party. So really nice attacking game here by MVL, bishop to e5. Beautiful finish. In this position, Hikaru resigned the game because he saw that there was nothing really he could do. Best move here is like knight to f6. All of a sudden, the queen is dead. The king were to take. All of a sudden, the bishop on h6 is dropping. The king tries to run somewhere. Rook comes into the game, and this knight's coming in. Queen g7, queen f6. This is simply unplayable for black, and that's why Hikaru resigned. So if you guys did enjoy this nice short video format, just a quick game analysis, some interesting games, attacking games, then please do feel free to like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!